to talk about the two last-minute changes that the party made to its platform. The first had to do with Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The second related to the word God. How come?
How come the Republicans didn't know what Clint Eastwood was going to do? Every convention has its foul-up moments. And this, I was thinking as I was coming over here about what grades I would give to the conventions. I think I would give the Democrats a B+, and I think I would give the Republicans a C, just on technical issues, not on substance. And the reason the Democrats get a B+ is in significant part because of this distraction that the platform created.
As opposed to an A.
As opposed to an A. They get points off. I was talking to folks about this in Charlotte yesterday and the day before as the furor was building. When you, of all the parts of a platform, okay, the thing you should read really, really carefully is the part about the Middle East, and you should compare and contrast. And the explanation I got, which made no sense to me, honestly, was that they just didn't read it over carefully and they didn't realize they had left out Jerusalem. Hello? That is such a very emotional and central issue to an important voting bloc, and it was just inevitable that it was going to come up, and it was smart of them to fix their mistake, as with the God mistake, because, you want to leave him or her in there.
But, fixing that mistake and inserting the language saying that Jerusalem is and will remain the capital of Israel puts the Democratic Party and President Obama at odds with the policy of the administration. Our embassy is in Tel Aviv. Our official policy is that the status of Jerusalem is something to be decided by negotiations. And one reason this gaffe was, I think, so problematic was because the president himself made the decision to change the platform. So now he is in the position of having articulated his own personal view in the Democratic Party platform, which is at odds with his view as president. And he already has strained relations with Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. So it wasn't good.
And Mitt Romney immediately seized on this, Greg, saying that the Democrats, and particularly President Obama, are simply soft on Israel.
I think that the reason this was such a serious own goal for the Democrats is because it actually does aggravate a suspicion among some people, particularly the party's Jewish backers, that Obama is not as tough on Iran and as supportive, as reflexively supportive of Israel as he should be. I mean, and this comes out through a very, very prickly relationship the administration has had with Prime Minister Netanyahu and Israel. Just a few days ago, reportedly, we heard that there was a shouting match between the American ambassador to Israel and Netanyahu over the whole issue of how to confront Iran. So, the irony here is that most of the time platforms don't matter. They are not binding on the president. And the Jerusalem issue in particular, because, year after year, the parties put that in their platform, and year after year, presidents don't do anything about it because they know, as Cheryl was saying, that's to be decided in final status negotiations. The mystery is why the Democratic Party would therefore allow something that does not have, any practical value to become a symbolic problem for them with a very important part of the electorate.
Of course, the word God, as you said, I mean, what was the Democratic Party, Democratic strategist trying to achieve by putting that word back in, Ruth?
Well, a piece of the Republican argument against President Obama has been that he is conducting a war on religion, much as the Democrats have been arguing about the Republican war on women. You saw Cardinal Dolan at both conventions.
That was interesting.
That was very interesting, and I thought it was good and interesting for the Democrats to have him there. But the question is, there has been a question for a while, especially among religious voters, about whether the Democratic Party is adequately inclusive of faith and faith-based organizations. The administration has made some accommodations, but it also staked out a position that it then backtracked from in terms of contraceptive access that riled up a lot of Catholic voters. And if you want to think about who you don't want to annoy in an election, it's bad enough to annoy Jewish voters, but they constitute a very small sliver of the voting population, though a larger percentage of donors, an important part of the Democratic Party donor base. But Catholics are a third of the country, and they heard in their churches on Sunday mornings about this contraceptive rule, and you do not want to follow that up with taking out God.